friends. So we are heading into a bit of a weird week. We just finished, or supposed to be finishing, winter break. Now, we are supposed to get a massive snowstorm in the next couple of hours, like basically Sunday night into Monday, which means we probably may not go back to school until Wednesday. It really just depends on what the snow does. But I have a little bit of decision paralysis. I just filmed my March TBR, which we are heading into Ramadan. So I do want to kind of get some of these physical books off my TBR. So I have 6 physical books that are not currently on my March TBR, which means I'm not going to prioritize them. I also do have some NetGalley books burning a hole in my pocket, and I have a library book that I really, really want to read. So we're just going to spin a wheel, and I'm going to show you guys the physical books on my TBR that could get pulled for this because I'm a bit nervous about some of them. So we have Wivenshaw by Farewell Arawasati, and this is a dark academia book, which I'm a little bit nervous about. I'm also a little bit nervous about The Poet Empress. I'm less nervous about Graceless Heart by Isabella Banez. I'm a little bit more confident in Smoke and Scar by Gretchen Palafox. I just got this book signed. And then Wolf in the Crown Blood by Elizabeth May. I've heard mixed things about her first book, but this is a super pretty edition. And then we also have A Vow of Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez, which is another book that I've heard pretty good things about. And I also have a library book, The Astral Library by Kate Quinn. And I also have Dealing with Dragons, which I just got approved of on NetGalley. So that is where we're going to go. I am going to let myself DNF if I want to, because that is an issue I've had in the past. So yeah. We're going to spin a book, we're going to spin a wheel, and we're going to see where are we. What is going to be my first book? Ooh, okay, that was exciting. So we have A Vow of Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez, which is really exciting. Oh, and now all the books fell. Which is exactly what I thought was going to happen, which is unfortunate, but okay. So we're going to start A Vow of Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. I'm going to let myself read 50 pages of this and see how I feel, because I think I heard 1 or 2 people talk about this. Deadly Tarot, Wicked Schemes, Dangerous Alliances, Can You Survive the Forge? Okay, so I'm going to give this book a shot. I'm going to read about 50 pages. And then I'm going to give you guys like maybe the first 100 pages. Yeah, I like to read like about 100 pages of a book before I give you guys my update. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to read about 50. Yeah, I'm going to read the first 56 pages and see how I'm feeling about this. And if I feel like I want to keep reading, I will. And if not, we'll chit chat about it. But this is going to be the book I'm going to start. And I just literally got this. So that's actually really good. And again, this week's going to be a bit weird. I don't know what's going to happen this week. So yeah, we're going to go get reading. I'm also watching Bridgerton season 4 because I'm doing my rewatch before the season 5, the end of season 4 comes out at the end of the week. And yeah, we're having a snowstorm. So all right, I'm going to go get this started. I'm going to read about 50 pages and then I'll give you an update. Bye, book friends. Dragons, I didn't wind up updating yesterday because we got an unexpected actual snow day. Typically since the pandemic, whenever we've actually had a snow day, it's always been a remote. But because they declared everything a state of emergency, we actually got a real snow day. I'm just a little bit worried about tomorrow getting to my job and all that. I really hope that they make a good decision. It's still snowing. It is almost 10 o'clock and it's still snowing, which is not ideal. We got a lot of snow. If I remember, I'll attach a photo of it in this vlog if I can remember to grab it off my camera. But I wound up reading a lot yesterday. I forgot how slow it takes me to read my Romantasy because the books and the font's so much different. But I am liking this. You basically follow a main character and there's 3 different, basically every year, I think. A selection happens and you're either going to be reaped by the seraphs, by the elves, or by the druids. And our main character is in a bit of a harder spot. Everyone in her family has been raped by someone. Her dad, her brother, and her twin brother, and her mom. So she's kind of going to make it her toll to get raped so she could go and find her family in this various society. And she winds up getting sent to this college where they have tarot magic. So you're kind of learning how to be connected to tarot. And the tarot that she has is very, very rare. The only person that has this tarot is the Crown Prince, and she's kind of basically bunking with him at this college. And there's a lot of hidden secrets in this world so far. I am enjoying it. I'm just reading it a little bit slow. I'm also finished watching Bridgerton season 4. I rewatched it, I did all the interviews. Now I'm watching America's Next Top Model, the behind the scene documentary, which I think is very interesting. I really did like America's Next Top Model for a couple of years. And I always like the tea and the drama. So I did round up reading about 25% of this. And I am enjoying it. I'm liking my characters. The world is very, very different. I remember when I read Arcana Academy, I was super bored by that, which was super disappointing because I really did like Elise Kova's writing. But this book, I'm a little bit more connected. The magic system makes a little bit more sense to me. So I want to read. I'm going to go read another 100 pages. And then I will give you guys like an update and a time check. And if we have any updates. Yesterday we found out at like 12 what they were going to do. I'm just worried because I like live on like a side street. Like I live like in a suburban area, but like we just don't get plowed as quick because we're kind of like not near the main roads. We're kind of very, very far back. So yes, we are doing that, but I'm going to go read a little bit more of this. Hopefully read a bit quicker. I would love to get up to page 100 to like 250 by 12 o'clock. We will see, but I am enjoying this. I'm happy that I picked this book up. Definitely liking it more than Arcana Academy, and I want to keep reading, so I will come back with you when I have an update. Bye, book friends. Again, I'm back. I didn't really read a ton of this book. I really was contemplating DNFing it because I was really struggling with the story, but then I picked up the audiobook on Spotify, and I listened to about 2 hours of my thing, and then my hours like expired. I did like the audiobook a lot better, and I think what I have to do is I have to kind of decide if I want to give Romantasy a shot both ways, so I have to kind of have access to the audio, because sometimes I think these books don't work with me as a physical read. It sort of just depends on what the story is, but I am enjoying it a little bit more. I think it's probably going to be like a 3.75 star book, to be honest, but I am enjoying it a little bit more. So I have about 71 pages left, so I would like to go finish the rest of this. I also finally started watching Bridgerton, the second part of season 4, which everything is spoiled. Everything is spoiled because they released it on a Thursday, and then I had to work the whole day, and I went on Threads, and everything got spoiled. I mean, I did watch all the books, so, I mean, read all the books, so I do know, like, the big spoilers, but I had something spoiled that I did not want to be spoiled, so now I have to watch and not get spoiled for the rest. I'm also listening to my Stranger Things autobiography book that like I got on Everand, so I will attach a photo of that book here as well. I tossed it in this video because it's probably not going to get talked about anywhere else. I am listening to that. I have to go get my nails done today. I have to go run some errands, so I'm going to take that book with me, and I'm going to take this book with me, and hopefully by the time I come back I'm done with both. And also Realmathon starts tomorrow, which I'm really excited about, so I want to pick a book that's gonna like, you know, kick me into overdrive, which I'm super excited about. So my goal for today is to finish both the books that I'm currently reading so I can start fresh for March. And yeah, I'll keep you guys along, we'll chat. I'm watching the first episode of Bridgerton season 4, so I'm watching that, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, book friends. Dragons, I did wind up spending a lot of today reorganizing my room because I did get a walking pad, and I want to kind of reorganize all of my room so I have room for everything, and it was a project, so that took most of my day. But I did just want to finishing A Vow and Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. I'm going to give this book 3.75 stars. I think that if I would have read it quicker, as I always say, I struggle to read really long romances, adult romances over the week because I think my focus like wanes a little bit, but then I also struggle with reading them. Like I struggle to read books like over long periods of time, so maybe I have to save my chunky romantices for weekends. Maybe that's what I need to do. But I did like this book. I don't think it was a new favorite. I didn't feel super connected to the characters. I also finished my Stranger Things books that I was talking about that really focused on season 1 and season 2. I know we are getting a future one coming out in May that kind of does the whole series, which I definitely want to get. Hopefully they make an audiobook of that. I think right now might be a Target exclusive. And then I did wind up starting And Back to You by B.K. Borison. I don't know if I'm going to put this in this vlog, because it's not really, actually technically it is a new release because I did get it for book of the month, and I'm really liking that. I actually want to go do a walk a little bit with that, so I might just like keep reading that. But basically you have two meteorologists that are kind of forced to work together as a winter storm is batting down the hatches, and their two stations have to like work together, and they are very like opposites, and it's very, very fun so far. So I did finish that, and then I have been working on that, but I want to get like at least walk for 20 minutes to get used to the treadmill. I'm also watching Bridgerton, but I didn't get a lot watched, to be honest. But I do have my spinning wheel. I did add a bunch of stuff to this that I didn't have before. I just added a bunch. So yes, I do want to add a couple of books to this vlog because it's only like one book in this. Well, one full book. Ooh, okay, NetGalley book, my choice. Okay, well, I do have a lot of these on NetGalley. So let me go look at what I have, and then I will come back to you all. Second book in our duology, I think it's called Heartstrings, and I liked book one. Book one was not my favorite, but this book is just very, very fun. You basically have two competing meteorologists that are kind of working on the storm of the century, and they're kind of forced to work together to kind of cover the storm. And you have a very straight-laced meteorologist, and you have a very fun girl who's just not straight-laced at all, and they're kind of forced to work together, and we're kind of going from there. Our male main character has a lot of anxiety and is like not very good at being in front of the camera, and they're kind of forced to like team up, and it's very, very fun so far. So I did wind up working out, so I did wind up listening to a little bit more of that, but now I want to go back and I want to watch the last couple of episodes of Bridgerton. And if I feel like treating myself, I may rewatch season 3. We will see. But I will give you an update when I have read about 100 more pages, and we'll see where we are. But so far, I'm really liking this book and happy that I picked it up. Bye, book friends. And so this one did a quick update. It's like 3 o'clock. I did wind up finishing watching Bridgerton, but I'm rewatching the last episode just because I watched it without slowing it down. So I did wind up getting up to page 200 in The Swan's Daughter. I'm really liking this book. I think it's a perfect mix of competitive story, but it also has very, very lyrical writing. I also really like the characters. I like that both of these characters are kind of in an impossible situation. You have a prince that kind of is destined to die by the hand of his love, and then you have the Swan's daughter who is kind of trying to escape her father, so she is not used for his plan of, like, his evil plan, basically, and they're kind of helping each other reluctantly. And I'm liking the characters quite a bit. I haven't read anything by Ronnie Choshky in a while, but this book is very, very fairy tale-esque, and even though the world and the political situation is a bit confusing, I'm really enjoying it. It really gives me Bachelorette vibes and like competitive vibes and trial vibes, but also just like I really do like both characters quite a bit in this story. So yeah, that is where we are. I'm going to try to read another 100 pages before bed. Yes. So I also have about 3 hours left of my audiobook, and Back to You by B.K. Borison. This is the second book in her Heartstrings series. I'm liking this one as well. It's very, very fun. It's like quick. The characters are very, very like fun. They're very, very different. It's definitely like a reverse, like it's definitely like a grumpy sunshine romance. We have a lot of representation in this story. We have characters that, again, there is a subtle plot line of dementia in this story as well with the heroine's grandfather, which I guess is just a vibe. That's just like what everyone does in their books right now. Don't know if I really like it, but it's very, very subtle in the story. It's kind of like, recently I read Sounds Like Love, and that had a very, very prevalent dementia, but this one's a little bit different. But it's also set on like a snowstorm, which we just had one in New York City, and the weather cast and all of this stuff. We're also seeing side characters from book 1, and I also bought a copy of this from Book of the Month. So that is where we are. It is about 3 o'clock. I'm going to try to read another 100 pages of this, because the whole point for March is to read books quickly, because we are doing Ramadan. I did not sleep the best last night, I will say that, so I'm trying to hope to get a bit better of rest tonight, but I have to go to bed early. So yeah, I will talk to you guys when I have an update. It might be tonight, it might be tomorrow, but I really want to do one more book, physical book in this vlog, so we will see what that is, but I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, bye, friends. Hi, dragons, I am back. I am updating on a Monday. Monday is normally my most frustrating day. It's a lot of meetings, but I did wind up getting a bunch of stuff done today. I did wind up teaching as well today, which is nice. I wound up doing it's been like a very, very weird like 3 weeks because we had like time before a break that normally is like not as productive, and then we had a break, and then last week was really, really weird, and then today was like just a shorter day. So hopefully tomorrow I will get a little bit more teaching done, but I really haven't taught all of my classes since before break, so I feel a little bit behind. But I did wind up about an hour, and I think I have 2 hours left of my audiobook, which I'm really liking. I will say this book does have a subtle dementia plot line underneath it, and those parts do break my heart a little bit, but I really do like the characters quite a bit, and I like the snowy elements to the story. It's like basically 2 meteorologists that are covering the storm of a century, and they're kind of forced to work together, forced proximity, hate to more, sharing one room, all that other fun stuff. So I am liking that. I haven't also submitted a book for Ramadan yet, which I hope to do by tomorrow. That's the goal. And I did wind up getting up to page 260 in The Swan's Daughter, and I am really liking this book quite a bit. It's gonna probably be a new favorite. That's why I have been tabbing when I've been home, but I'm just liking it. It's a very, very lyrical writing style. The characters are fun. You get a lot of different point of views, and I'm having a really fun time with it, and I'm just really liking both of our characters quite a bit. So I'm gonna try to get up to page 400. If that does happen, I will give you an update, and if not, I will just update you tomorrow when I'm done. But I'm going to focus on finishing the next 100 pages of this. But I am enjoying it. I do like our characters quite a bit, and I like the trial setting, and I do like the fairy tale setting as well. So yeah, I'm having a very, very fun time with this one, and I'll be back to give you an update when I have one, hopefully tomorrow. Bye, book friends. Bye, chickens. I just want to do a quick update. I left my book over there, but I did wind up finishing And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison, which is my first book for Ramadan. I used that book to attack. Sorry, rogues. It was the book is the only thing I could think of. But I did want to finishing that book. I'll touch a photo of that here, and then we'll chit chat about it, and then we'll talk about my book I'm currently physically reading. I like this book. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was definitely one of my favorite. I liked this book a lot more than the first book in the series. I just didn't feel that connected to this one, and I really did like this one. I liked that it was meteorologists kind of forced to work together. We had a little bit of a grump sunshine relationship. We had a little bit of you know, OCD rep or like anxiety rep in here. I will say the dementia plotline is getting a little bit overused to me because I've been reading it so much in the books that I've been picking up, but it didn't like adversely affect my enjoyment of the story. It just was like it wasn't lighthearted, but it had an element to the story that like made sense to me. I really did like seeing the characters from the first book. I liked maybe setting up the second book or the third book in the series, so I had a fun time. And then I wound up getting up to page 300 in The Swan's Daughter by Ronnie Troshky. I am really liking this one. I think it's probably going to be like a 4-star read for me, but I'm having a fun time with this. It's very, very lyrical, very, very fairy tale. I like all the characters, and I'm just having an enjoyable time with it. And I'm happy that I picked it up. I'm actually really liking it. It may actually be a 5-star read at the end, but currently right now it's sitting at like a 4-star. I'm just enjoying it. It is very, very lyrical, so sometimes it's hard to feel that connected to the characters. But I want to like kind of devote some time to it and maybe finish the rest of it tonight. This was my show day, and I just had to talk a lot today, which always happens. We're also getting to the point in the year where I have to like start like putting my show together, and I just have to make a lot of decisions, and that's something I'm not great at. So yeah, that's where I am right now. But I am really liking this book, and I'm happy that I picked it up. The one thing I'm liking about reading this vlog is that these books that I just bought are getting read, and like and Back to You, I just bought that. My next book I'm gonna pick up, which I can't think of the name right now, but it's like, I'll touch a photo of that book here. Audiobook because it's coming in my book of the month box, so I'm gonna pick that one up, but it's a thriller, and I'm enjoying it. I read about 5% of it, and then I like kind of put the book down, but I am gonna pick that up tomorrow. And as we head to the end of the week, I just have less listening time, but I am really liking this one, and I hope to finish this book up, if not tonight, then tomorrow. But I'm gonna go kind of power through and try to wrap this up. If I do come pretty close to wrapping this up, I will check back in to pick my next book, but I'm gonna pick that when I'm done. So I'll be back when I have an update, maybe tonight, if not definitely night, then tomorrow. Bye bye friends. I'm back. So I did actually get a little bit like a lot of reading done, and I also got a couple of books in the mail, which I do want to chit chat through. And I think I'm gonna change this vlog a little bit just because I did get some book mail that I am intrigued by, and I'm sort of in the mood to read something mystery thriller adjacent, which I don't normally physically read. But my brain is just not cooperating this today, and I think I kind of need it. So I did wind up finishing The Swan's Daughter by Ronnie Chosky, which was a book of the month book. I really like this book. I'm giving this book like 4.5 stars. It was super fun, super quick. I like the fairy tale storyline of this, and it was a great read, and it really worked perfectly for what I needed. I liked the characters. It was an unexpected sweet romance, but I always just felt a little bit disconnected from the characters. But I really like the story quite a bit, and I'm happy that I picked it up. And then I also, in this vlog, so I got my book of the month, and my book of the month was a lot this month because it did have quite a few books that I was intrigued by. So it was The Lolly, so I wound up getting First Time Caller by B.K. Borison because I also picked up And Now Back to You, the other book that I read in this vlog. So now they match, which is nice. And then I also got This Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum, which I am currently reading and listening to. But I think I'm just going to pick this book up physically and see how I feel about it. Because I'm in like a pretty good slot of it, and now I just kind of want to keep reading. So I think I'm going to bring this one to work with me tomorrow and finish reading it. Well, finish reading it tonight. So I am like about, let's see, I'm like 35% in. So I'm about like 129 pages into this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this in a second. But I also did wind up picking up Perfect Cover and Killer Spirit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a series that got republished, and they don't have audios, so I think I might read Perfect Cover this weekend and kind of wrap up this series and see how I am feeling. So I think I'm going to take this book with me to work because normally at the end of the week I don't get a ton of reading done until Sunday, and I kind of just need a couple of quick reads. So these I'm going to pick for the quick ones, and yeah. So that is what I am going to do. I am going to go and I'm going to read this. I have read about 129 pages of this book, and I'm just going to tell you guys like the quick and dirty of it because I haven't read enough of it, but I have read. So you basically follow these two characters. Their names Benny and Joy, and they kind of run this podcast where they kind of have somebody, one of the co-hosts tells a story about something that they witnessed or like a survival tale, and then at the end they kind of tell how the person survived or how you can survive. And one day they're getting ready to record. They get there. Benny is the male co-host, female is Joy, and they kind of go there and they can't find them, and they're kind of going through that. But you're kind of flashing back to a bunch of different point of views where they are, and I'm really like Benny as a character. So yeah, I am going to go read a bit more of this. I would love to get up to page 150 in this tonight and just kind of make a big of a dent in it. I'm also going to bring Perfect Cover with me in my backpack. This does not have an audiobook. This does have an audiobook. So I might just go back and forth and read from the audio tomorrow at work. But as I say, Thursday and Friday are the days that I have like the least listening time. So it may not become like a full listening. I might just read this physically. But I'm also going to bring this in case I finish the book tomorrow and I need a physical book. So I'm going to bring this with me to work tomorrow. I'm going to read this. If I get up to 150 tonight, I will give you an update. And if I don't, I will just give you an update tomorrow when I get home from work. But I am intrigued enough to keep reading this. I kind of wish I would have just physically read it, but you know, that's okay. So yeah, I am going to go read this. I'm going to go update. And if I get to 150 tonight, I'll give you an update. And if not, I'll give you an update tomorrow. Bye, friends. Hi, Bookdragons. I am back. I just want to do a quick update. I did want to finishing This Story Might Save Your Life by Tracy Crum. I love this book. I think I might give this book 5 stars. I had such a fun time with this. It was a thriller that had what I would deem likable characters. And that is something that so rarely when I read a thriller did I like feel connected to these people, and I really did. I grabbed the audio and I wish I would have slowed down when I was reading this because I just liked it. It was such a unique thriller, such a unique premise, and it really worked for me like as a reader. And I didn't really talk that much about it, but basically you have these two characters. They are working on a podcast together, and it's like about true crime adjacent, like people survive these crazy things. One person tells another person a story and they guess how the person survived. And one day they're going to film, and then the girl is missing, and the boy, his name is Benny, has to kind of find out what happened to his best friend. A lot of twists and turns. And there is an unreliable narrator element to this story. And there could be, you could view them as unlikable, but I just had a fabulous time with this. I really, really enjoyed this. And I knocked quite a few books off of my to read that like I physically got in the mail. I may try to read one more for this vlog, but I'm not really sure how I'm feeling. So I did get Perfect Cover by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and it is a bit of a thriller. So I don't know. I'm going to I'm going to take tonight and I'm going to kind of decide what I want to do. I might just read a chapter of this. Also, they did just announce ACOTAR 6 and 7, and I have never reread Court of Thorns and Roses. I think it might be time. I do think it may be time for me to start that series, but I don't know if it may be like a weekend project. So I don't know. I'm either going to go read a chapter of Court of Thorns and Roses and pick that book back up, or I'm going to read a chapter of this and whatever captures me. I also do have the audiobook of A Court of Thorns and Roses, so maybe I'll just start that book tomorrow. I don't know. This does not currently have an audiobook, which is why like I'm leaning towards physically reading this. But I also love to read fantasy, and so I don't know. That's kind of where my head's at. I think I'm just gonna like, I don't get a ton of reading done on Friday because it's my busier day, and I have actually a lot of stuff to get done tomorrow. We had rehearsal today, and I am woefully behind on my script preparations and stuff like that. And now that I'm doing I'm basically doing 9 shows because I have a lot of scenes that we are doing, so I have to kind of get my butt in order, but I don't have the time. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to go figure out if I want to read this. If I want to read this, then I should probably just focus on this. But I did take A Court of Thorns and Roses out because I am watching Sarah J. Maas talk. And I probably shouldn't do that, but you know what? I literally know nothing about ACOTAR, so if I watch a video, it's probably not going to spoil me. Alright, so I'm going to go start this and then start a little bit of that and see what book I'm more captivated by. I'm going to read the first chapter of each and then kind of make a decision. And that will decide my weekend reading. So, yeah. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends. I did wind up starting ACOTAR, so I wound up physically reading it and audiobooking it, so we're going to end this vlog here. Yeah, hopefully this vlog comes out next, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting me on my reading my books as I buy them, and I will talk to you guys soon for another video. Bye.